Hi, this is Mark Tibb speaking. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so the WBA have released their new rankings up and down the weight divisions, of course, but in this video, we're going to be talking about the heavyweight division. So if you are new to this channel, firstly, welcome. Click that subscribe button. It's free, it's brilliant, you'll love it. And of course, we get to talk about things, especially with these ranking videos that nobody else here on YouTube talks about. So make sure you are subscribed. You get to know a whole lot of stuff and you'll understand the heavyweight division landscape a whole lot more. Subscribe. Okay, so I'm going to go through the top 15 of the WBA in the heavyweight division. I didn't do it last month because they didn't do any updates. Reason being, nobody fought, right? But there have been some major changes in their rankings and I will be blasting them. I'm going to go full balls deep on them. I really will. Absolute scumbags. Are they incompetent? Yeah. Are they biased? Yeah. Are they corrupt? Probably. Anyway, let's go through it. Oleksandr Usyk is the WBA Super World Heavyweight Champion. Manuel Charr is the WBA Regular World Heavyweight Champion. We're definitely talking about that. Number 1, Deontay Wilder. Number 2, Mark McCauley. Number 3, Anthony Joshua. Number 4, Lenier Perel. Number 5, Jarrell Miller. Number 6, Arsenbek Makhmudov. Number 7, Dubois. Number 8, Jared Anderson. Number 9, Filip Hrgovic. Number 10, Ivan Dachko. Number 11, Murat Gassiev. Number 12, Fabio Wardley. Number 13, Luis Ortiz. Number 14, Jonathan Guidry. And number 15, Ajit Kabayel. So that is the top 15 for the month of September in the heavyweight division for the WBA. That is what the WBA consider the best top 15 in the world. Yeah, mad, isn't it? Anyway, dropped out this month is Zhan Kosabutskiy. Zhan Kosabutskiy last time out, again, he was an undefeated fighter, took on F.A. Jagba, got himself disqualified by deliberately hitting F.A. Jagba below the belt. Now, was that part of revenge because the Jagba done it to him? Possibly, probably, but it doesn't really matter. It shows a real lack of professionalism. It does, okay? Basically, he quit. He looked for a way out, is what he done. All right, so either way, he's been dropped. Okay, so the biggest changes, let's start off with Dubois, number 7. Fresh insert, he was WBA regular world heavyweight champion. People asked me before, is he still champion? No, of course not. The reason why he had that belt is because that's what got him the opportunity to take on Oleksandr Usyk. Win, lose or draw, he was going to lose that belt anyway. Okay, so no. But of course, last time when he did take on Oleksandr Usyk, listen, I like Dubois. He's a Brit, so listen, I'm always going to support him. But I also have to be honest about it. Regardless of people's feelings, he quit. He did. And I don't hear no talk about round number 5, low blow. Wasn't it a low blow? What? Who cares? Okay, you can't live on a what if on one round. He didn't win any other round. It wasn't really competitive as such. And he not only got dropped in round number 8, but got dropped in round number 9 and then quit. Is pretty much what he done. But in fact, I can't even say he got dropped in round number 9. He was looking for a punch to go down for, is what he done. And he went down from a jab. He quit. He quit against Joe Joyce. Hey, fair dues, I understand that one. But he took 3 knees against Kevin Lerena. And I know for a fact he's been doing it quite a bit in sparring. And that as well. So I do worry about him, even though he's young. I don't believe that's something that can be trained out of him. I think when the pressure gets put on him, he's going to go again. I do. And that's very, very unfortunate. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so I suppose the biggest talking point will be Manuel Charr is the WBA regular world heavyweight champion. And of course, he's going to be defending that belt, because he's been ordered to, against big baby Jarrell Miller, a 2-time PD cheat. Not just found something in his system, but found multiple substances in his system. Jarrell Miller, who, listen, I told you all about this, probably, was it a year or so ago, that this is what was going to happen with Miller, okay? Because on his fight back, he took on, I forget who he took on, was it Bracamonte? I forget, okay? But either way, he's part of a WBA thing, whatever it was, say no to drugs, whatever it was, unbelievably, right? Was it Argentina? And I said to you all then, watch, he's going to get a title shot soon. Because he's participating in what the WBA won. And they're rewarding him with it. So he's defeated a Bracamonte and a Lucas Brown, and now gets a title shot. So basically, he fights Manuel Charr, beats Manuel Charr, he's up next for Oleksandr Usyk when the rotation comes back around. Unbelievable. WBA, what the fuck are you doing? Manuel Charr should not be champion. Okay, granted, he shouldn't have been stripped in the first place, but the guy weren't defending the belt. He didn't defend it, not once. I don't care about any excuses as to any reasons as to why he didn't. What, in all that time, was it 2.5, 3 years, where it was? What, he couldn't defend the belt once? He couldn't do it once? Now, the fact that WBA have reinstated him as champion, even though they did say that they're going to make that belt obsolete, i.e. delete it, and now, of course, they haven't, but pretty much they're admitting that they are corrupt by doing this, that they are biased, whatever kind of words you want to use, because they stripped Manuel Charr. Why? Because Trevor Bryan is a Don King fighter, and we all know the bias when it comes to WBA and Don King. Boy, do we know it. I'll touch on that a little bit more as this video goes along. But the fact that they stripped Manuel Charr because he couldn't get a visa, even though it's whose responsibility? Is it Don King's responsibility to make sure Manuel Charr had a visa to defend that belt in America? Was it Florida against Trevor Bryan? And Don King didn't do it. And the WBA agreed to strip Manuel Charr. So basically, you've admitted that you're fucking corrupt is what you've done. Because Manuel Charr has won the case against you, hasn't he? Biased bastards. Anyway, him versus Jarrell Miller is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. As I said, the WBA are either incompetent. For sure they're incompetent. No doubt that they're incompetent. They're certainly biased. Are they corrupt? Quite probably. Quite probably. They are the worst of the lot. The worst of the lot. I mean, what has Jarrell Miller done to fight Manuel Charr for this title? What's Jarrell Miller done that Martin Bakole ain't done? That a Arslan Makhmudov ain't done? That a Jared Anderson ain't done? That a Murat Gassiev ain't done? What's he done? Other than pop twice for PEDs for multiple substances. And then taking on who? Journeyman. What's he done? Ridiculous. But anyway, we move on. Speaking of Martin Bakole, number 2. That's a little bit mad. Who's he fighting next? Now, he was in talks to be fighting Murat Gassiev. I knew about this some odd months ago. Why that fight hasn't happened, I'm not entirely sure. I'm hearing that Martin Bakole didn't fancy it. I don't know that for a fact. But that part I'm hearing. Who knows? Maybe it's Murat Gassiev didn't want it. I'm sure if we ask Billy Nelson, he'll say, yeah, it was Gassiev that didn't want it. Nobody else wants it, okay? But what's Martin Bakole going to do next? Let's not talk about Carlos Takam. Let's not talk about these kind of guys. Fight somebody in this top 15. Who are you going to fight? Who? Go fight Makhmudov. Bob Arum, Ben Shalom have a very good relationship, right? Top rank boxer. ESPN, Sky Sports. They all have a very, very good close-knit relationship. No reason in the world why Bakole versus Makhmudov cannot happen. No reason in the world unless one of them don't want it. That's the only reason why. So get on with it, Bakole. I'm sick to death of him talking about this guy and how he beat this person up in sparring. Go fight someone. Go prove it. I don't care about no damn Tony Yoka win. Carlos Takam beat Tony Yoka. So how good was that win, really? Ridiculous. Anyway, we move on. So I've already mentioned about Arslan Makhmudov. Number 11, Murat Gassiev, who I briefly touched on there. Looks like he's been taking on Otto Wallin. It's actually been officially announced yet. Because I haven't seen it officially announced, but it was supposed to have been announced about 2 weeks ago. So I don't know what's happening with that one. Good fight. Good fight. Otto Wallin, Murat Gassiev. Very good fight. Number 14, Jonathan Guidry. What are we talking about when it comes to Don King? Well, Jonathan Guidry is a Don King fighter. Jonathan Guidry is a guy who looks like he's a distant cousin from Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like he should be part of the crew of A House of a Thousand Corpses or The Devil's Rejects, that kind of stuff. Put a chainsaw on his hand. He's out of shape. Listen, he's got a decent win, if you like, over Dakari Scott. But again, Dakari Scott was an American prospect who was very, very, very overweight and he gassed himself out. But let's be real, Jonathan Guidry lost to Trevor Bryan. If you lose to Trevor Bryan, you should not be anywhere near a top 15 of any sanctioning body. But we know why he's there, because he's a Don King fighter. In fact, I'm surprised they haven't reinstated Bermane Stiverne in the top 15, to be honest with you. Very, very surprised. Ajit Kabiel, number 15. He's the European heavyweight champion. What's he going to do next? To be honest, I don't even care, to be honest, what he's doing. He's one of the most inactive fighters. When he had the European title to start with, even though he's still undefeated, he vacated the belt rather than take on Joe Joyce, which was ordered. That shows what he's about. He wants to eke his way through a living through boxing without actually testing himself. He's worried, he's scared to death of losing that O. Listen, he's got a decent win over Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora turned up to Monte Carlo on a Matchroom show several years ago without his trainer and that in tow. So what's Kabiel done since? Absolutely nothing is what he's done since. Fight somebody in this top 15. You see, listen, I ain't going to talk about any individual fighters here anymore in the top 15. But overall, the WBA, you lot are garbage. You lot need to be deleted from the boxing scene. You need to be deleted. You're no good for it. You're surplus to requirements. You bring no benefit to boxing. None whatsoever, other than steal a living out of it. With your biased rankings. Gilberto Mendoza, who I've offered on to do podcasts, bottles it. Absolutely bottles it. I could respect him a whole lot more if he actually come onto my platform, done a podcast with me, faced the music, and maybe, who knows, convince me. But as of right now, I am calling them incompetent. I'm calling them potentially corrupt. They're garbage, absolute garbage. Not that any of the sanctioned bodies are too much better, but these are absolute wank. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.